Hey everybody, welcome to episode 45 of Qore, presented by the PlayStation Network. I'm your host, Jesse Blaze Snyder. I am here in San Francisco at the Southtown Arcade, perfecting my super combos in preparation for the chocolate and peanut butter mashup that is Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Combine the best from Capcom and Namco Bandai's Fighting Worlds to create this insane no-holds-barred combo. Compete with 2-on-2 teams where up to 4 players can duke it out at once. Seth Killian pulls no punches.
So basically the producer of Street Fighter and the producer of Tekken are just friends, so they just sort of spitballed this idea and said, wouldn't it be crazy if we could do this?
You got Tekken in my Street Fighter. Perfect! Then it's the distant future, the year 2080, and Japanese robots have turned deadly. You've got to wipe them out in Binary Domain, a squad-based shooter with AI teammates that learn from your actions.
Cover me! Okay!
Creative director Toshihiro Noguchi leads us into a dystopian Tokyo.
We're looking at trends like global warming, as well as the robotics industry in Japan. We've imagined how the world might look to us if those trends keep on going in the directions that they are today.
And Birds of Steel lets you soar with the greatest of ease. On its simplified arcade mode, at least. Crank up the realism on this World War II combat flight simulator, and you'll need sharp skills to survive the historical missions. Bombs away. Also this month, we check out Warp, which could become the latest action puzzle darling. As an adorable alien, you've been trapped by scientists and need to use your special powers to escape. It's time to turn the tables on that whole alien autopsy thing.
And Tiffany tours the most dangerous theme park ever built in this month's Blu-ray Spotlight.
That's right, Jesse. This month we're digging up a Blu-ray box set that has been 65 million years in the making.
We have a T-Rex.
The Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy, finally available on Blu-ray.
We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
All this and more on episode 45 of Qore, presented by the PlayStation Network. I'll see you on the inside.
Two games that define the fighting genre are joining forces. Street Fighter, Capcom's 2D mega franchise, and Tekken, Namco Bandai's hand-to-hand 3D fighter, combine their iconic characters and diverse fighting styles in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. We had a chat with Special Combat Advisor Seth Killian to get the latest on this universe-bridging fighting game. So Street Fighter and Tekken crossing over two huge rival fighting games. How did this even come about?
This is one of those made in Japan stories. So basically the producer of Street Fighter and the producer of Tekken are just friends, like in real life. So they're talking about it and they have a lot of respect for each other. So they just sort of spitballed this idea and said, wouldn't it be crazy if we could do this? So the rest is history.
Check out the perfect fight.
The historic team-up will ultimately spawn two very different games. The first, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, produced by Capcom. And later, a follow-up from Namco Bandai, appropriately titled Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
No way!
So with Capcom at the helm of this first game, it's no surprise to find out where it draws its look and feel.
Nice knowing you!
I gotta be honest, it's gonna be a little bit more from the Street Fighter camp, but we're really doing our best to blend the best of both series. So from the Tekken side, you've got sort of a Tekken tag mechanic that we all love, where if either character gets knocked out, you've lost the round. We've also, of course, got characters from the Tekken franchise and the Street Fighter side. And we've also managed to bring over a little bit of the 4-button control action that you'll remember from Tekken. So if you have any sort of favorite combos that you may remember from your favorite Tekken character, you can bang those out just like you would in Tekken, even just using 4 buttons.
Mixing Tekken and Street Fighter characters not only leads to some highly unlikely teams, but also new killer moves and combos.
So in the case of some characters, traditional characters, you'll recognize parts or even all of some of their super moves. In most cases, we've got something new, and then we've also got the ability to pull off team combos, team crossover combos, where I will begin a super move as one of the Capcom characters. Maybe I'll throw a big fireball in your face, and then Kazuya will come in behind, catch you, and do some of his special moves and end you with one of his little mind lasers that he fires out of his forehead.
Now, what Street Fighter characters are going to be in the game playable, right off the bat?
A lot. So we're looking at one of the biggest casts around in a while. So you'll have some favorites in there, like your Ken and Ryu, and your Chun-Li and your Zangiefs and guys like that. But we also have some more zany characters, and also on the Tekken side, we've tried to bring in both sort of core characters like Kazuya and Nina and people like that, as well as characters like Yoshimitsu. I don't really know what he is. He's some sort of cyber ninja with like a laser sword. So we're trying to mix that all together. And then of course on the PlayStation, we've got some exclusive characters as well. We've got Cole from Infamous. He's going to be making a special appearance in the game, as well as Kuro and Toro, who are some famous characters from Japan. Hopefully some US audience will learn about them and become excited as well.
But you can't just merge fighters from two different games without leveling the playing field.
So one of the things Street Fighter is known for is having all these crazy fireballs and projectiles and sonic booms and yoga fire and you know what, just to try and keep people pinned across the screen and play a little more of that range game. So to make the Tekken guys really competitive and let them shine at their own strengths, we offered the Tekken guys all sorts of interesting ways to dodge around those projectiles. And then once they get in your face, they really feel like the Tekken characters you know and love. Plus we provided them with new tools to get into that distance where they can really be most effective.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken also introduces a new layer of strategy on top of the tried and true Street Fighter gameplay. What is the gem system?
So the gem system is basically it's a system of customizable power-ups. So basically before the match, in the same way that you've been able to pick sort of things like your super combo or something like that in other games, now we're sort of trying to broaden the scope of the potential customizations that you can have. So the gems basically power you up in different ways. So maybe they give you more defense, maybe they give you more offense, maybe they give you more meter or something like that. But they activate in all sorts of different ways. And you can pick a series of these gems, whatever you feel like will play to your strengths. If you want to play Chun-Li who hits a little harder, you can do that, or maybe even play a super speedy Chun-Li. But it's all to figure out sort of what are your strengths as a player and what do you want to capitalize on.
The gem system isn't the only thing shaking up the Street Fighter and Tekken universes. A new comeback move called Pandora Mode gives losing players one final chance. Fail to finish off your opponent before the meter drains, and you'll be defeated instantly. In yet another new twist, up to 4 people can battle online or offline at one time in Scramble Mode.
So instead of me picking 2 characters and you picking 2 characters, each of us can find a friend and we can all play 4 at once together, even to the point where we can have all of us on the screen at the same time in different ways, which gets pretty nuts. So that's a little sideline. That's going to be insanity.
We don't know about you, but we already started planning our gem strategy. Our Hadouken hands are strong, and our fight sticks are polished and ready to go. So bring on the challengers.
standing in my way.
久々に血が騒ぐわい。Are you ready?
You felt that? Eat this!
Can't back down now.
Bastard! This team sucks.
Final round.
Pay attention. Here you go. Say goodnight. When you learn how to fight, call me.
Blue team wins. It's all on the line.
Next time, I won't go so easy.
Will the tide of battle turn?
Too slow. call me. When you learn how to fight, call me.
Blue team wins!
Talking Japanese toilets and virtual pets? Cute, right? Now, fast forward 70 years. They're not so cute anymore.
This is your second and final warning.
It's the year 2080 and self-aware robots have infiltrated Tokyo society. They now pose an imminent threat to life as we know it. As former U.S. soldier Dan Marshall, you and your elite team must stop the robot uprising and save humanity in Sega's squad-based shooter, Binary Domain. The game's creative director, Toshihiro Nagoshi, gave us a glimpse of the world's not-so-bright future.
How realistic is the Tokyo in the game, and what do you think has changed in the 70 years up to 2080?
What we've done is, in terms of looking into the future, we're looking at trends such as what's happening right now in the real world, like global warming, as well as the robotics industry in Japan, which is really advanced. So, based on what's going on right now in contemporary society, what we've done is we've imagined, projected into the future, how the world might look to us if those trends keep on going in the directions that they are today.
But you're not going up against an army of mindless automatons. These are hyper-intelligent robots we're dealing with.
Drop your weapon.
You need a loyal squad watching your back.
Let's go!
So, the team members that you can select from up to 5 NPC characters, and they actually respond to voice recognition commands. As you go through the game, you interact with the characters through voice recognition.
Now! Fire at will! Absolutely brilliant, Sergeant!
That means if you want your pals to cover you, just say the word.
Cover me!
I'm on it! Whether or not they actually do what you tell them is part of an innovative system that rewards you for good teamwork.
Good job!
If you fail to earn your team's respect, they'll ignore your commands and go rogue.
Fire!
Not gonna happen!
Negative!
The AI is structured in such a way that the concept of trust between you and the NPC characters is very important. So as you play the game, you sometimes rescue them, or you help them out in combat situations. Or perhaps the NPC characters help you. So by always paying attention to what's going on in battle situations or within the game, you create basically a relationship with the NPC characters, and that really affects how the missions turn out.
That's all fascinating, Major, but we got a situation over here. Go! Go!
In the heat of battle, sometimes the only true friends a guy has are the guns and gear strapped to his back.
In terms of weapons, you can expect the type of military weapons that you can find today, as well as many more futuristic weapons that you might expect in a science fiction setting. So when a player checks out the game, they'll probably be able to enjoy all sorts of weapons.
What's your favorite weapon to use?
Although it's not really a weapon, one of my favorites is, we have this little gadget that projects a holographic image of a person that you can use as a decoy, and it confuses the robots. Well, it's not really a weapon, it's a gadget in the game that I really enjoy using.
I'll make sure I pick that one up when I play.
After stealthily shooting your way through the single-player campaign, recruit your friends to join you in one of Binary Domain's robust multiplayer modes.
All right!
In terms of the type of modes we have modes, for example, like Team Deathmatch. We also have co-op modes. And all these multiplayer scenarios are played out in this big, gigantic setting of Tokyo that's been realistically created within the game.
Blindly running and gunning without utilizing your teammates will only get you so far. Every decision you make, each command you bark, and every good deed you repay will ultimately decide the fate of humanity. Kill the robots, save the world. In Binary Domain.
When we really want to feel those G-forces, nothing beats an analog-era flight sim. With just a few key instruments, some wings, and a prop, you can roll, dive, and loop with the best of them. If that's not enough, classic firepower gives a serious kick. It's a thrill to take down enemies with nothing more than your wits. And a nose-mounted gun. Just remember to check your 6 for any other pilots with the same idea. They've got awesome wingspans, grace, and cunning. These historic World War II fighters truly are birds of steel. As a historical flight sim, Birds of Steel recreates World War II missions over Pacific Islands. Pack your sunscreen as you visit Wake Island, Midway Island, Hawaii, and more. The story mode includes dozens of challenges where you'll dogfight, torpedo, and bomb based on real-life battles. We got into the sharp satellite photo-based terrain and historic details, both in extensive text entries and archival footage. But much of the game's realism comes directly from the planes, and it should. In the most accurate, advanced game mode, you can get into tailspins and stalls if you're not careful. Hopefully, you can get out of them too. The rotation of the prop even gently rolls your craft, just like the real thing. These planes are pitch perfect, literally. Whenever they could, the developers recorded actual engine sounds, and in some cases, they traveled the world to find the only working versions of some planes. A flight sim is only as fun as its controls, and thankfully, both casual fans and combat veterans will find something to like. In the easier arcade realism setting, you'll get unlimited ammo and fuel, and the game helps identify enemy planes with more of a modern heads-up display. The planes are a little easier to fly too, but the game maintains its challenge. With maximum realism turned on, well, we're still trying to score our first clean carrier landing. But the accurate physics, even if punishing, will delight sim fanatics. At the easier end of this difficulty, we had fun playing with a standard DualShock. For advanced control, we swapped to a joystick. The game directly supports a handful of popular flight sticks, but since you're playing on the PS3, most any USB joystick you have lying around could work. You can even connect a keyboard to assign advanced controls. There's a lot of minutia for the sim fan, but again, it's an extra layer that casual players can overlook. However you play, the combat rocks. The game tracks dozens of areas of the plane to record damage. Wherever you get shot impacts the aerodynamics. Oof, looks like that guy lost a little too much wing. And the classic range of weapons gives you a great sense of control. You'll bomb land and sea-based targets, torpedo enemy ships, and shoot bogeys in dogfights. Unlike computer-guided rockets in a modern sim, you'll feel accomplished after landing the perfect hit. Beyond the historic campaign, dynamic modes let you keep playing without repeating missions. Up to 4 online friends can form a squadron to take on a randomly generated objective. Whether you win or lose together, the game creates the next scenario based on the results. The mission editor even lets you set the location, weather conditions, attack situation, and then take to the skies. Competitive multiplayer matches with up to 16 players go far beyond dogfighting. For example, in one mode, you'll try to destroy an enemy's airfield while protecting your own. But since planes respawn from each team's carrier, if you can sink their ship, you can stop them from returning. In these multiplayer modes, and even when playing alone, your character earns experience. Complete more missions to unlock new planes and features. You can even customize your aircraft with painted graphics or slogans. We're more tortoise than hare. With more than 100 authentic World War II planes, realistic fighting and physics, and a historic setting, Birds of Steel will easily impress simulation fans. But its combat strategy and classic weapons will grab casual players too. Those cannons are universal. Whatever your style, Birds of Steel flies high.
Oh, who's a cute little alien? Oh, you're so... Ah! That's horrible! Okay, don't be fooled by this little guy's adorable appearance. He's on the wrong end of a science experiment, and his survival instincts are kicking in.
Oh no! It's here! I can't! What the?
Step back because nothing is gonna come between this alien and his escape. And that ultimate freedom is your goal in the action puzzle game, Warp. Warp? Yeah, it's the title and core gameplay mechanic. You'll use that ability and other alien powers to free yourself from this underwater facility. A warp works in many different ways. For movement, it's an alternative to jumping. You can warp through thin walls and doors. Thick ones and special barriers, not so much. Warp into an object to hide, and while you're in there, blow it apart if you like. That explosive trick also detonates scientists and guards if you're feeling vindictive. And your alien powers go deeper. Echo sends out a dummy version of your character. Tiptoe out to distract guards, or lure them into tripping a switch. Taunt trigger-happy foes into shooting certain objects, such as power tanks, to advance.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah, they're pretty careless. Combine those main abilities, Warp and Echo, into Swap. Your doppelganger will trade places with objects, either helping you move through big obstacles or transport items. And Swap works with humans, too, letting you trade places. Surprise! Jump inside an object and use Launch to fling it across the room. Cause extra destruction, or just find your way through puzzles. Choose your strategy through each area. You can attack a room of enemies head-on, sneak around to pick them off one by one, or be a pacifist and avoid conflict altogether. You can even play the whole game without killing anyone. Instead of detonating bystanders, just hop out right away, stunning them. Better move along before they recover, though. Deciding how to play is part of the puzzle. You'll get one of several unique endings depending on your style. But whatever approach you take, be prepared to die a lot and try again. Over and over we die. At least the game's generous checkpoints mean you can continue from nearby. Move through tougher areas with helpful upgrades. Collect grubs, then spend them to warp faster, run more quickly, and more. Some advanced upgrades enable new abilities, like turning your Echo into a mine. Gotcha! There's a ton to explore and unlock through the main game. Completionists will have their hands full. And challenge modes put you in dense maps where you'll try to speed through or blow up foes as fast as possible. As you play, the game tracks all kinds of stats. Compare your scores with friends and collect awards based on your total number of warps, explosions, and much more. Warp is an addictive downloadable game with big concepts. By using just a few of the game's key tools, you can chain together more complex actions and pull off well-timed escapes. The challenging open-ended puzzles will even make you feel clever. But if your brains tire out, this little guy's got brawn too. However you play, Warp is out of this world.